aita for refusing to pay my daughter's tuition after she made a disgusting comment to my girlfriend? Okay, Reddit, I need to get this off my chest because I'm spiraling a bit here. I, 56M, am in a really tough spot with my daughter, 19F, and I'm starting to question if I went too far. For context, I lost my wife, her mom, about 2 years ago in a car accident, and it completely wrecked me. My kids, 25M, and we're also devastated, but I feel like I took it the hardest. I was in a dark place for a long time, barely functioning, just going through the motions. It wasn't until I met my girlfriend, C43F, earlier this year that I started to feel like myself again. But now, because of something he said to C at Thanksgiving, I've cut off her tuition payments, and I'm wondering if I'm the asshole here. This is going to be long, so bear with me. Let me back up and give you the full picture. My wife, Elle, was my high school sweetheart. We got married at 22, had EA a couple years later, and then A when I was 37. Elle was the glue that held our family together. She was warm, funny, and just knew how to handle everything, from parenting to keeping me grounded. When she passed away in that accident, a drunk driver hit her car head-on. It felt like the world ended. I don't even know how to describe the grief. It was like someone ripped out half my soul. He was already out of college and living on his own, so he handled it better, I think, but it was only 17 and still in high school. She took it hard, shutting down for months, barely talking to anyone. I tried to be there for her, but honestly, I was barely holding it together myself. I'd cry in the shower so the kids wouldn't hear me, then put on a brave face for them. It was rough. For about a year after Elle's death, I didn't date, didn't even think about it. I was just trying to survive. Work was a blur. I'm a financial advisor, so it's not like I could just check out completely, and I leaned heavily on my sister and a few close friends to keep me from falling apart. I started college last year, and I thought things were slowly getting better. She seemed to be doing okay, making friends, getting decent grades. He was supportive, checking in on both of us. Life wasn't great, but it was manageable. Then, in January this year, I met C. I wasn't looking to date. Honestly, I thought that part of my life was over. But I ran into her at a local coffee shop where I was grabbing a latte before work. I spilled my coffee all over the counter. Classic me, clumsy when I'm distracted, and she laughed. Not in a mean way, but in this warm, teasing way that reminded me of Elle. We got to talking, and I found out she's a professor at a nearby university with 3 Ivy League degrees. Like, who even does that? She's got this sharp, dark sense of humor that caught me off guard. And for the first time since Elle died, I laughed, really laughed. It felt like waking up after a long nightmare. See, and I started seeing each other casually, just coffee dates at first, then dinners. She's incredible, smart, thoughtful, an amazing cook. Her lasagna is unreal, and she's got this way of making me feel seen without being pushy. She's also plus-sized, which I only mentioned because it's relevant to what happened later. I didn't tell the kids about her right away because I wanted to be sure it was serious. Around March, I sat Ian down and told him I was dating someone. He was cool about it, said he was happy I was finding some joy again. Hey, though, she just nodded and didn't say much. I figured she needed time to process it. Losing her mom was hard, and I didn't expect her to be thrilled about me moving on. Fast forward to summer, when I introduced C to the kids. I invited them over for a barbecue at my house, thinking it'd be a low-pressure way to meet. He hit it off with C immediately. They bonded over some nerdy TV show they both love. I think it was The Expanse. A, on the other hand, was ice cold. She barely said 2 words to C, answered her questions with one-word grunts, and spent most of the time on her phone. C tried so hard. She asked A about college, her major, psychology, even complimented her earrings. But just shut her down every time. After they left, I pulled A aside and asked if something was wrong. She said, "No, I'm fine," but her tone was sharp, like she was daring me to push her. I let it go, thinking maybe she was just having a bad day. Over the next few months, C made a real effort to connect with A. She'd text her to check in, offer to take her out for coffee, even sent her a care package during midterms with snacks and a cute notebook. A either ignored her or responded with stuff like, "Thanks, I'm good." I kept telling C to give her time, that it was probably still grieving her mom, but I could tell it was starting to hurt C's feelings. I mean, C's been nothing but kind, and it was acting like C had personally offended her just by existing. Things came to a head at Thanksgiving. Both kids came home for the holiday, and I was excited to have everyone together. C spent all day helping me cook turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, the works. She was nervous about it being there, but I reassured her it'd be fine. I even talked to her beforehand, asking her to please be polite since she'd been so rude to C in the past. I rolled her eyes but said, "Whatever, Dad, I'll behave." I thought that was a good sign. Spoiler, it wasn't. Dinner started off okay. He was chatting with C about his new job. He's in marketing, and I was trying to keep the conversation light. I was quiet, but I noticed her glaring at C the whole time, like she was studying her or something. I tried to ignore it, but it was making me uneasy. Then, about 10 minutes in, C got up to grab another helping of mashed potatoes. Out of nowhere, it says, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Don't you think you've eaten enough, you fat pig?" The room went dead silent. C's face crumpled, and she started sobbing right there at the table. Before I could even process what happened, she ran off to the bedroom, slamming the door behind her. I felt this wave of rage and embarrassment wash over me. My face was burning. I turned to A and said, "Get out, now." She didn't even argue, just grabbed her coat and left. He looked as shocked as I felt, but he didn't say anything, just started clearing the table like nothing had happened. I went to check on C, who was still crying. She kept saying she didn't want to come between me and my kids, that maybe she should just leave. I told her this wasn't her fault, that it was way out of line. It took me an hour to calm her down, and even then, she was shaken. I've never seen her like that. She's usually so confident and quick-witted. Seeing her so hurt made me furious all over again. About 30 minutes after I left, I was still fuming. I texted her, "What you said to C was disgusting and unacceptable. I'm done paying your tuition unless you, 1, apologize to C sincerely, and 2, she accepts your apology." I was so mad I didn't even think it through. I just sent it. I didn't respond for a couple hours, and when she did, it wasn't an apology. She sent me this long text doubling down, saying C was fake and trying too hard, and that she didn't trust her. She also said she didn't mean to hurt C's feelings, but that she was just being honest. Honest? Calling someone a fat pig is honest? I was livid. At that point, I decided to follow through. I logged into her university's tuition portal. I've been paying her tuition directly since she started college, canceled the payment for next semester, and sent her screenshots of the confirmation. I didn't want to play games. She needed to know I was serious. She called me about 20 minutes later, crying and begging me to reconsider. She said she didn't mean it, that she was just upset that she couldn't afford college without my help. I told her my conditions still stood, apologized to C, and C has to accept it. She kept crying, saying I was ruining her life, but I hung up because I couldn't deal with it anymore. Since then, it's been radio silence from A. He thinks I'm being too harsh, that A's just struggling with me moving on and needs time. He says she's been stressed about school and maybe lashed out because of that. My sister agrees with E. She thinks cutting off tuition is a nuclear option and that I should have tried talking to her first. But I did try talking to her multiple times, and she's been nothing but rude to C. C, for her part, feels awful about the whole thing. She keeps saying she doesn't want to be the reason I'm fighting with my daughter. I keep telling her it's not her fault, but I can tell she's still hurt. Here's where I'm starting to second-guess myself. A's only 19, and losing her mom was a huge blow. Maybe she's acting out because she's scared of losing me too, or because C feels like a replacement for her mom, which she's not. Nobody could replace Elle. I know A's behavior was awful, but cutting off her tuition feels like a big step. College is expensive, and I don't want to screw up her future. At the same time, I can't just let her think it's okay to treat people like that, especially someone I care about so much. C doesn't deserve to be insulted in her own home. Well, my home, but you know what I mean. And I'm worried that if I back down now, it will think she can get away with anything. I've been going back and forth in my head for days. On one hand, I feel justified. A's comment was cruel, and she didn't even try to make it right. On the other hand, I'm her dad, and I don't want to be the reason she drops out of college. My friends are split. Some say I'm right to set boundaries. Others say I'm being too punitive. I don't know what to do. Aita for sticking to my guns on this.